like they're behind, and that's lean fire. Then there's a really interesting one. This is arguably the best one for younger people, and that's called coast fire. Now in 2014, I set myself up on this path without even knowing, just by accident, by saving and investing. The idea of coast fire is that if a person in their 20s can save a couple $100,000, you've essentially front-loaded all the effort, because now that couple $100,000 has 30 to 40 years worth of time for compound interest to take place and make you millions of dollars. It's like inevitable retirement just because you did it early. So taking my example of $200,000 invested at the average return of 8%, which is what the stock market has averaged over the last 100 years, and I left it in there for 40 years, means that by roughly age 67, I would have over $4 million in my account. At that point, I wouldn't need to work, or if I wanted to, I could exercise that option earlier, but that's coast fire, a really cool option, especially for young finance nerds. And then there's something called barista fire, which is also pretty cool. Barista fire is the same idea, but while you're in retirement, you're also working a small job as a barista or any other job that gives you health insurance benefits enough to cover something that you don't have yet or maybe can't afford in your current fire situation. But then there's also something called fat fire. And fat fire, there's no real definition for it other than maybe spending at least $100,000 a year or more while in retirement. As you can see, as we're spending more money, we're getting thicker and thicker here, right? The way to calculate how much you'll need to get to 100K a year passively is, again, the rule of 4%. So we take 100,000 divided by 4%, move the decimal over 2 to the left, and we get $2.5 million. That's how much you need invested working for you at least 4% to make 100K a year. Now, I can't get to that point just yet unless I took my stock portfolio, I shuffled it around, I sold some of my crypto investments, sold off my rental property, and then I could definitely get there. I haven't done it yet because I like to torture myself and make these YouTube videos that you're still watching for some reason. But what I really want to get to
is obese fire.
Actually, I made that up. There's no obese fire, but some people in the fat fire community are getting really, really thick.
Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy. Damn.
And I feel like, okay, Andre, I get it, but you still haven't explained exactly how to get my FI number. I actually have. Throughout this video, this is what I've been preparing you for. If you've done number 1 and number 2, you already know how to do number 3. The way to get your FI number is you take your yearly expenses. So if you're spending $4,000 a month, which is $48,000 a year, you take how much you spend per year and divide it by that 4% rule. So 0.04, remember to move the decimal over 2 to the left, and you get $1.2 million. That's your FI number, your financial independence retire early number. Now, if you want to do it a slightly easier way, you can also take your yearly expenses number, which is $48,000 in this case, and multiply it by 25. Always 25, again, the same rule of 4%, and you'll get the same $1.2 million.